Only 12 people in that arena knew the truth about Bruce Lee. The karate champion standing under the lights didn't. The event organizers didn't. The judges didn't. 500 spectators at the International Karate Championship Finals had no idea that the quiet Chinese man seated in row 14 was about to change everything. But they were about to find out. Within the next 8 minutes, the undefeated champion would experience the most humbling moment of his entire career. And every person inside that arena would witness something they would remember for the rest of their lives. This is what truly happened on March 20th, 1969. This is the moment they never forgot. Long Beach, California. Long Beach Arena. March 20th, 1969. Saturday afternoon, 3:45 p.m. The International Karate Championships are entering their final hour. This isn't just another tournament. This is the biggest martial arts stage in America. The place where reputations are confirmed, where styles are tested, where champions become legends. 500 spectators fill the arena seats. Martial artists in crisp white GIs, instructors with arms folded evaluating everything, students watching their heroes, families leaning forward with quiet anticipation. The air is thick with liniment and sweat. Every shout echoes. Every movement matters. Competitors from 12 countries have gathered here: Japan, United States, Korea, China, Okinawa, Brazil, Canada, Mexico, England, France, Germany, Philippines. 20 different systems are represented: Shotokan, Gaju Ryu, Wado Ryu, Kyokushin, Tangsu Do, Kenpo, Shorin Ryu, Ishin Ryu, Goeiyu, Chido Ryu, Northern Shaolin, Southern Chinese boxing, American freestyle karate, Okinawan traditional forms, Korean hardstyle systems, Japanese tournament fighters, stylists, traditionalists, modernists. Every major discipline has someone in this building defending its honor. This is the Olympics of American karate, and now the heavyweight division finals are moments away. Backstage, warming up under the fluorescent lights, is the man everyone expects to win. Michael the Destroyer Chen, not his birth name. He changed it years ago. Something stronger, more marketable, more American. A name that sounds like a headline. He is 28 years old, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 215 pounds of conditioned muscle, broad shoulders, narrow waist, built for explosive power. He has trained since the age of 6. 22 years of repetition, of kata, of sparring, of discipline. 4th Dan black belt in Shotokan karate. 3-time defending champion of this very tournament. 5 years undefeated in competition. 47 consecutive victories. No draws. No controversial decisions. No lucky breaks. 47 straight wins. In the American karate circuit, his dominance is not debated. It is accepted. He steps onto the stage in a pristine white gi. The fabric snaps sharply when he moves. His black belt is tied with precise symmetry. The embroidered patch on his chest lists his dojo, his rank, his accomplishments. Nothing about him is accidental. He stretches methodically, rotates his shoulders, tests his stance. Then he throws a practice punch. The air cracks. Even the spectators in the upper rows hear it. His technique is in the textbook Shotokan. Deep Zenkutsu Dachi front stance. Weight driving forward. Linear precision. Every strike chambered perfectly before launch. Every kick returns online. No wasted motion. No flair. Just power and structure. The crowd watches him warm up. Some were impressed. Some are intimidated. Many are convinced the outcome is already decided. He carries himself like a champion, and he knows he is one. His confidence has matured over years of victory, but somewhere along the way, confidence hardened into certainty, and certainty edged toward arrogance. The tournament organizer, Ed Parker, approaches with a microphone. There is a tradition before every final. The reigning champion addresses the crowd. A few words about discipline, respect, the spirit of martial arts. A reminder of why they are all here. Michael accepts the microphone without hesitation. He stands center stage beneath the arena lights. 500 eyes fixed on him. Competitors watching. Judges attentive. Students are admiring. This is his arena. His voice booms through the speakers. Calm, controlled, commanding. He does not look like a man who doubts himself. He looks like a man who has never had a reason to. And in this moment, March 20th, 1969, at 3:45 p.m., In Long Beach Arena, Michael the Destroyer Chen stands at the absolute peak of American karate. Untouched, unchallenged. Certain that the system he represents is the most effective fighting method in the world. He has no idea that in less than 10 minutes, that certainty will begin to crack. Michael stands center stage, microphone in hand, the arena lights reflecting off his white gi. Ladies and gentlemen, he begins, voice steady, amplified across Long Beach Arena. Fellow martial artists, competitors, judges. The applause is respectful, expected. He is the 3-time defending champion. I stand before you today as your undefeated heavyweight champion. 47 consecutive victories. 5 years without a loss. Another wave of applause. This is fact, not arrogance.
Yeah.
He continues. I have tested my Shotokan against every major system represented here. Against hard styles. Against fast styles. Against champions from 12 countries. He pauses. And I have proven that traditional Japanese karate remains the most effective fighting system in the world. The applause is thinner now. Some nod. Others shift in their seats. Martial arts politics are delicate. Pride in style runs deep. 20 systems are represented in this arena. Instructors with decades of loyalty. Students who believe their path is the right one. Michael presses forward. Shotokan is built on structure, discipline, power, directness. No wasted movement, no theatrics, no unnecessary flourish. His tone sharpens. And lately I've been hearing a lot about so-called kung fu. A subtle ripple moves through the crowd. These flowery techniques. These dramatic movements. These demonstrations are designed for film and performance. Now the tension is visible. Kung fu is not combat, he says plainly. It's choreography. It's a dance. It looks impressive. But in real fighting, under pressure against trained karate, it does not hold up. In row 14, a small man in black pants and a black shirt shifts slightly in his seat. Beside him, Dan Inosanto leans closer. You want to leave? The man shakes his head once, calm, observing. On stage, Michael continues, I have faced every legitimate challenge put before me, and today, in the spirit of honesty, I will say this clearly. He scans the audience. If there are any practitioners of Chinese martial arts here, any kung fu masters, he raises the microphone slightly. Come up here, prove me wrong. The arena goes still. Champions do not do this. They do not issue public challenges to entire systems. It is considered disrespectful, poor sportsmanship. But Michael is riding the momentum of his own dominance. I won't go full contact, he adds. Well, keep it controlled. Just enough to demonstrate what works and what doesn't. Silence. 500 people. No one stands. Michael smiles faintly. That's what I thought. Then he'll accept your challenge. The voice is calm. Clear. Not loud, yet it carries. Every head turns toward row 14. The small man stands. No guy. No belt. No visible rank. Just simple black clothes. Michael squints into the crowd, lights in his eyes. You practice kung fu? He calls out. I practice Chinese martial arts, the man replies. Yes. What style? Wing Chun. And my own system. Jeet Kune do. There is a brief pause. Michael has heard of Wing Chun, a close-range Chinese system, but Jeet Kune do means nothing to him. And your name? Bruce Lee. The name hangs in the air. Michael searches his memory. Nothing. He does not follow Hong Kong cinema. He does not watch television fight shows. He knows tournaments, records, rankings. He does not recognize the man in row 14, but 12 people in that arena do. They sit up straight. One of them is Dan Inosanto. Another whispers to the person beside him, that's Bruce Lee. A quiet current of energy begins moving through the crowd. Michael turns toward the judges' table. This isn't a registered competitor, he says. Is this allowed? Tournament organizer Ed Parker stands and approaches with his own microphone. It was an open challenge, Parker says evenly. If both parties agree to a controlled demonstration, we can permit it. No official scoring. No titles at stake. He looks at Bruce. Is that acceptable? Bruce nods once. Michael shrugs. Fine, he says. Let's show everyone the difference between karate and performance. A few uneasy murmurs ripple through the arena. Bruce steps out from row 14. People shift aside to let him pass. Those who recognize him begin whispering urgently to those who don't. That's the Green Hornet's Kato. That's the guy who does those demonstrations. Watch this. Bruce climbs the steps to the stage. Now the contrast is clear. Michael 6'2", 215 pounds, 4th Dan Shotokan, pristine white gi. Bruce 5'7", around 140 pounds. No uniform, no belt, no visible credentials. The visual imbalance is almost theatrical. Michael studies him carefully now. An actor, he thinks. This will be easy. Ed Parker raises the microphone once more. Gentlemen, he announces, this will be a friendly demonstration. Light contact, a comparison of approaches. Both men nod. The judges step back. 500 spectators lean forward. The ideological line has been drawn. Karate versus Kung Fu. Structure versus flow. Tradition versus something unknown. And in Long Beach Arena on March 20th, 1969, the tension becomes almost unbearable. They stand center stage beneath the lights of Long Beach Arena. The contrast is undeniable. Michael the Destroyer Chen's 6 feet 2 inches tall, 215 pounds, 4th Dan black belt in Shotokan karate, wrapped in a pristine white competition gi, belt tied with precision, posture rigid and formal. Across from him stands Bruce Lee 5 feet 7 inches, roughly 140 pounds, black pants, black shirt, no belt, no rank displayed, no visible credentials. 75 pounds separate them. 7 inches in height. Structure versus simplicity. Michael lowers into a deep Zenkutsu Dachi front stance, weight driving forward. Rear heel grounded. Front knee bent sharply. His fists chambered exactly as tradition demands. Every angle textbook. Every line rehearsed through 22 years of discipline. Bruce stands upright, feet shoulder width apart, knees relaxed, weight centered. Hands raised but loose. Alive, not fixed, not rigid. To the karate-trained audience, it doesn't even look like a proper stance. The referee signals. Begin. Michael moves first. He steps forward with a sharp Oizuki, a lunging punch driven from the rear leg. Fast. Linear. Precise. His hip rotates cleanly. His fist slices through the air toward Bruce's chest. Bruce is not there. He is shifted slightly offline, no dramatic leap, no exaggerated motion. Just a subtle angle change. Michael's punch extends into empty space. Michael retracts. Resets. He fires a Mi-Jerry, a front snap kick aimed at the midsection. Again, crisp form. Proper chamber. Sharp extension. Bruce has already moved. Not far. Just enough. The kick lands where Bruce was, not where he is. A faint murmur ripples through the crowd. Michael increases tempo. Jiaku Zuki. Reverse punch. Followed by another Oizuki. Then Mawashi Jerry roundhouse kick, a tournament-winning combination, one he has used countless times to secure victories. Bruce flows around it, under the first punch, outside the second, just beyond the arc of the kick. He isn't blocking in the traditional sense. He isn't clashing force with force. He is simply not where the techniques expect him to be. Karate relies on commitment, on linear penetration, on structured delivery. Bruce reads it all. He sees the chamber before the punch, the weight shifts before the kick, the tightening of shoulders before movement, telegraphs invisible to most obvious to him. Michael grows more aggressive. He strings together longer combinations. Punch, punch, kick, reverse punch, backfest, sweep attempt. Bruce's feet barely leave the canvas. His body remains relaxed. Every movement is economical, minimal effort, maximum effect. To some in the audience, it looks like Michael is missing by inches. To others, it looks like Bruce is controlling distance completely. Frustration begins to creep into Michael's breathing. He decides to end the subtlety. He launches a full-power Mi-Jerry, not controlled tournament contact, but a thrust kick designed to drive through the opponent's center. The kick surges forward with real intention. Bruce's left hand rises, not a hard block, an interception. His palm meets Michael's shin just before full extension, redirecting it slightly off-center. The angle change is small but decisive. Michael's balance shifts for half a second. Half a second is enough. Bruce steps in. Close. Wing Chun range. His right hand fires straight down the center line, a direct blast toward Michael's face. He stops it 1 inch short. The air between knuckles and nose is thin. The message is unmistakable. That strike would have landed. Michael steps back, breath heavier now. The crowd is no longer murmuring. They are watching carefully. Michael resets deeper into stance. pride tightening his jaw. He launches a furious sequence every combination that secured 47 consecutive victories. Punches snapping, kicks whipping, elbows tight, speed pushed to its limit. Bruce remains calm. He slips, redirects, touches techniques lightly, guiding them past him. No wasted movement, no visible strain. Then it happens. Michael commits to a high Mawashi Jerry roundhouse kick aimed at Bruce's head, a decisive technique. Powerful. Spectacular. Bruce doesn't retreat. He steps inside the arc of the kick where its power diminishes. His left hand controls the leg at the knee, not forceful, just placed correctly. Simultaneously, his right hand shoots forward. Straight, efficient. It stops 1 inch from Michael's throat, not dramatic, not violent, precise. Bruce holds the position. 1 second, 2, 3. Long enough for 500 spectators to see clearly. Long enough for Michael to understand completely. His airway was exposed. His balance was compromised. His technique neutralized. The arena is silent, not shocked, not chaotic, silent. Bruce releases the leg gently, steps back, hands relaxed again. He does not smile. He does not celebrate. Michael stands upright, breathing hard, eyes fixed on the man in front of him. There is no humiliation in Bruce's posture, only control, only mastery. In 8 minutes, without striking full force, without spectacle, without raising his voice, Bruce Lee has demonstrated something the crowd did not expect. Size did not matter. Rank did not matter. The GI did not matter. Principle mattered. Timing mattered. Understanding mattered. And in Long Beach Arena on March 20th, 1969, 500 witnesses watched a champion meet something beyond his system and recognize it. For a moment, neither man moves. Michael's chest rises and falls. Sweat gathers at his temples. Across from him, Bruce stands relaxed, hands lowered but alert, breathing steady. Then Michael bows. Not stiffly, not reluctantly, deliberately. Bruce returns the bow. The tension dissolves, replaced by something quieter: recognition. Michael steps forward and extends his hand. "I underestimated you," he says, voice low enough that only those closest can hear. Bruce shakes it firmly. "You have excellent technique," Bruce replies calmly. "Excellent form. But technique alone isn't enough." Michael frowns slightly. "What do you mean?" "You fight the way you've been taught," Bruce says. "You follow structure, patterns, combinations. That works in tournaments. It works within rules." He pauses. "But real combat has no patterns. The words hang in the air. You must be able to adapt," Bruce continues. "To respond to what is there, not to what you expect to be there." Michael has heard fragments of this before. Phrases associated with Bruce Lee. "Be water," he says quietly. Bruce nods. "Water has no shape," he explains. "It takes the shape of whatever contains it. It can flow. It can crash. It can slip through cracks. It doesn't resist force directly. It redirects. It adjusts." The audience leans in. Ed Parker steps forward with the microphone. "Mr. Lee," he says, "would you be willing to explain further? Perhaps demonstrate?" Bruce glances toward Dan Inosanto in the crowd. Dan gives a small nod. "All right," Bruce says. For the next 15 minutes, the finals pause. Bruce remains on stage. He gestures for a volunteer. A young karate practitioner steps forward cautiously. Bruce positions him in a traditional stance. Deep, committed. "This stance is strong," Bruce says respectfully. "It develops power, stability." He shifts slightly, showing the limitations. "But it also fixes you in place." He demonstrates the economy of motion, the concept of eliminating unnecessary movement. A short punch travels less distance than a chambered one. A direct line arrives sooner than a circular path. He shows centerline theory. "The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line," he says. "Protect your center. Attack the opponents." He places his hands lightly against the volunteer's arms. This is Kai Sao. Sticking hands. It develops sensitivity. You feel intention before it becomes action. He demonstrates simultaneous attack and defense, intercepting while striking. No separation between block and counter. One motion serving both purposes. Several karate instructors in the audience exchange glances. Bruce does not ridicule kata. He does not dismiss tradition outright. "Kata builds discipline," he says clearly. "It builds a foundation. But if you only repeat patterns, you become predictable." He mimics a chambered punch slowly, exaggerating its preparation. Every technique has a tell, he explains, a shift of weight, a tightening of muscle. If your opponent can read it, he is already ahead. A few spectators nod slowly, others sit rigid, processing. Cognitive dissonance spreads through the arena. Everything Bruce is describing contradicts decades of structured training, yet they have just seen it work clearly, undeniably. He addresses the room directly. I do not say karate is ineffective, he says firmly. Karate is powerful. It develops strength, character, and discipline. He turns slightly toward Michael, but do not become trapped by the system. Use it as a foundation, not a cage. Michael stands quietly at the edge of the stage, listening. His ego, so firm minutes ago, has shifted into something else. Curiosity, humility, understanding. He watches the way Bruce moves, no tension, no wasted effort. Every demonstration is rooted in principle rather than form. The 15 minutes pass quickly. Bruce finishes simply. Discover what works for you, he says. Do not fight the way you were told to fight. Fight according to reality. Silence settles again, but this time it is reflective. Ed Parker steps forward. Let's thank both gentlemen, he says. The applause that follows is not polite. It is genuine. Not because a champion was defeated, he was not, but because something shifted in that arena. A new idea entered the room, and Michael the Destroyer Chen, undefeated champion of American karate, stands there, no longer certain that mastery of a system is the same as mastery of combat. The Long Beach arena empties. Evening settles over the parking lot, cool air carrying the faint echo of applause. Michael approaches Bruce, his steps measured, voice calm but earnest. Mr. Lee, he begins, can we talk? Bruce nods. They sit on the hood of Bruce's car. The lot is nearly deserted. Shadows stretch across the asphalt. Streetlights cast a soft glow. I've been thinking about what you showed today, Michael continues. About being water. About adapting. I want to learn. Can you teach me? Bruce studies him closely. Sincerity, humility, potential. I don't take many students, he says. My time is limited, teaching, filming, developing my system. But I see your willingness. We can begin. Saturday mornings at Bruce's Los Angeles school become a ritual. For the next 2 years, Michael trains. Wing Chun, Jeet Kune, principles over rigid form, fluidity over repetition. Techniques are refined, understood, integrated. He continues competing. His victories remain. His approach evolves. Movements become more adaptive. Combinations flow. Timing sharpens. Michael remains champion, but now he fights differently. More fluid, more aware, more like water. In 1971, Michael retired from competition. He becomes an instructor, blending Shotokan and Jeet Kune, honoring both his roots and his evolution. The story of March 20th, 1969 is retold in martial arts circles, not for the finals, not for a single victory, but for the 8 minutes when an unknown actor shifted the balance of perception. 500 witnesses, 12 who knew, 1 who learned, 1 who taught. The day arrogance met reality, Bruce would later reflect, Michael carries that lesson for the rest of his life. Every student he trains, every kata he refines, every principle he teaches, bears the imprint of that afternoon in Long Beach. Bruce Lee stepped from the audience, challenged assumptions, altered history, and changed martial arts forever. The championship continued, but its legacy had shifted. The real victory belonged to the lesson learned, not the title retained. The day the champion became the student.